Hey everybody, this is Esme. Just wanted to give you a little taste of what our new podcast is going to be. It's Cross Realm Podcast, your gaming and entertainment podcast hosted by Cross Realm Rebellion Gaming Group members. You can subscribe to the show. We will be up on iTunes shortly, and I got to get it out to Stitcher, and I believe it's on Pocket Cast right now. It's on its way to Google Play and iTunes and all that jazz. But it's fresh and it's new, and it's kind of a hybrid of like what we did anyways with our rated extras, but now you get it every week. So you may have noticed that our rated arcs are like between an hour to an hour and a half now. That's because we're recording 2 shows back-to-back days, Thursday and Friday. So you're not really out anything. We've just divided our time into 2 shows, because really sitting down for like 6 hours and 8 hours twice, no, that's just not doable. So we have our rated arc is going to remain on this feed, and we nothing has changed. And if you like what you hear on Cross Realm Cast, make sure you search us out and find us. It's just Cross Realm Podcast. That's it. We are your gaming and entertainment podcast. So I hope to see you soon. This is our taster episode, our very first one. I'm going to put on the rated arc feed and all that jazz. So you guys have a great day. Hope your weekend's doing great. I'm out of here. Bye.
Welcome to Cross Realm Cast, our open gaming discussion podcast. Today is March 2nd, 2018. We are a CRR Gaming Group hosted podcast. You can reach the show by emailing at crossrealmrebellion@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at crossrealmpod on Twitter. You can grab the RSS feed, get our show notes, anchor.fm, that's anchor.fm/Cross Realm Podcast, and apply to join us in-game at crossrealmrebellion.com. And now to introduce tonight's crew. I'm Cricket, and I'm one of the new ones here. So next, I believe, Esme.
Hello, hello.
And then we have Cyber Judge.
Hello.
Passenger sidecar, we have Big Blue.
Big Blue!
Howdy, howdy. Unofficial designated wingman.
That's right. He is our wingman. We went to, we're down Foe. He got called into work because of a flood. We're down with Electron because he's sending some farewell love to his friend who's going somewhere to do something. And the Gigabyte had a family emergency, so we hope everybody's okay and all that jazz. We're going to get started into our show. We're going to start talking about all the things. All right, Cyber Judge, you're going to get us started. What have you been up to?
All right, so I started deciding to try my luck at streaming, and I don't think I do a very good job at it. I forget to speak and stuff like that, but I've decided to start streaming Pillars of Eternity, so I just bought it off of Humble Bundle, so they had a Humble Bundle going on, and I'm like, okay, for $8 Canadian, I'll buy it. And so I installed Pillars of Eternity. It's very similar to the classic D&D games like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights. It's developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Paradox. I'm really still early in the game, simply because I'm trying to stream every time I play, and I don't want to just go on for a half an hour stream. So I've been trying to just do it when I can stream for like an hour or two, and play, and then that's the only time I'm going to play, so that everything is captured and it's sequential what I'm when somebody decides to watch. But I'm playing a elf ranger. I have a wolf companion, so and doing all the things rangers do. And I am streaming it on Mixer, so mixer.com/cyberjudge. And basically, to give you an idea of what it is, I'll just read what Wikipedia had about Pillars of Eternity. It's a role-playing video game developed by Obsidian and published by Paradox. It was released for Microsoft Windows, the Mac OS, 10 and Linux on March 26, 2015, so it's a few years old. The game is the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale series, along with Planescape Torment. Obsidian started a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter for this game in September of 2012. The campaign raised over $4 million US, which was the highest funded video game at that time. The game uses the Unity engine, so it's pretty neat if you like those kind of D&D style games. I'm having a good time. Like I said, I'm very early on, but it's kind of that more like top down, like zoomed out more kind of game. You click to move, and
kind of Diablo-ish.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, they're all kind of the same, right?
So I always get confused between Pillars of Eternity and Path of Exile, because I think they came out around the same time, or at least I started hearing about them around the same time. And I had friends that kept talking about, oh yeah, PoE is such a great game. PoE is such a great game. And I was always like, well, which PoE are you talking about? And I still don't know if they were talking about one and then the other at different times, because from what I've heard, both are pretty good. Path of Exile, which I did play that one a little bit, is pretty much it's another Diablo style game.
Yes,
with just a few more classes. Some people say it out Diablo's Diablo in some ways, but I have Pillars of Eternity. I just haven't played it yet, so I look forward to hearing what you think about it, and maybe I'll actually break it out and play it.
And that's a good deal. You said you only paid $8 Canadian for it?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's for the Hero Edition, it's $29.99 on Steam, right? And it goes up from there. So $8 is a really good deal.
So it was they had the Paradox collection. So it came with Pillars of Eternity, Stellaris.
Wow.
I forget what other games I got with it, but I got.
And
quite
that's
a few.
single player, or am I looking at a different version of Pillars of Eternity?
Pillars of Eternity. I'm playing it single player. I don't recall if they have a multiplayer component to it or not, but I'm playing it single player.
I'm not sure either. I think it's just
single player.
I'm pretty sure it is just single player.
I know the other PoE is multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The other one that you mentioned, the other PoE, I played that one as well, and it's focused on being an online kind of Diablo-like game. But no, this one is, I think, very focused on single player, and like I said, I don't think they even have a multiplayer line or component to it. They did just come out with or announce, I don't know if it's out yet, but Pillars of Eternity 2 as well. So it might be something I end up looking at after I finish, if I like the first game.
Cool. So
that's I just picked one game to talk about, but the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I got into the beta for this, and I thought it was a very interesting thing. It's the NVIDIA GeForce Now. It's basically a way for gamers to play some of the higher end games without needing that high end PC. It essentially streams the game from the NVIDIA powered machines to your screen and takes your keyboard and mouse inputs to move your character and stuff. But the processing is all done on their side, and then just they return the image or what have you. It's I haven't noticed when I've only done it a few times just to test it. Haven't noticed any major lag or anything. It's been pretty cool. I'm thinking if there's ever a time where my main computer goes down and I'm just on my laptop, it would be cool to be able to just fire up the GeForce Now and be able to still continue playing without a decent computer. You do have to own the game, so it's not like a streaming service, but it connects to the Blizzard launcher. It connects to Steam. I believe it connects to Origin. So if you own games on any of those, you can stream them. But they do have specific games that they call their supported games, where basically, like for example, Ark is one of their supported games, and so when I open up the GeForce Now and I say I want to play Ark, any updates and stuff are instantaneously. It's like they already have an image of it on their server, and they just kind of move the image to your game machine or what have you, and it's like instantaneously you're up and running. I did notice, like playing on our servers where we have all the mods and stuff, it has to actually download the mods every time I open up Arc on the GeForce Now, so it's not like it saves the mods. It's just saving the basic image of the game, and then any extras it has to download. But it's downloads them fairly fast, and it allows you to play. And I didn't notice any big issues with it. I don't know. Has anybody else tried any of these streaming services like Force? Or I know there's a few out there.
I was going to say, while you were describing it, it reminded me of the one we were talking about last year. Was it something like Crystal something? I was just trying to Google it. Liquid Sky. That's right. I don't know. Liquid Crystal. I don't know why I thought of that. Yeah, Liquid Sky was the one that I remember us talking about. That allowed people that had maybe like a lower end computer, but want to play some of the higher end games that they could subscribe and then essentially play off from that Liquid Sky's servers or equipment, like remotely. Yep. So yeah, no, that's crazy that NVIDIA is doing that.
Yeah, I haven't been tracking this at all, but I mean, it sounds essentially just like the thin client architecture you see in a lot of workforces now, especially a lot of big corporate workforces, where it costs a lot of money to keep doing lifecycle replacements for higher end computers for people, so that so they go on with this where they just have the server host the stuff in these virtual machines, so then they can load everything up in the background and they can just give people the thin client machines and allow them to do it. So that's kind of interesting. Did you notice any type of input lag at all, since you had to send your input data to their servers before it actually did anything?
I didn't. I played a little bit of Arc on our server, on Fell's server there, and it ran, I'm tempted to say, even better than what it runs when I run it locally on my machine.
Wow.
So it was pretty impressive, and they haven't announced their pricing from what I see. They're just saying right now in the beta it's free, and they don't have a date when the beta is going to end. But I got lucky. I signed up when I heard that they were going to be doing a beta. I went and signed up on the NVIDIA website, and I got into their beta last month, or beginning or middle of February, and I've done it a few times. My computer here's a decent machine, so I haven't really needed it. But I like playing around and seeing what the new technologies are, and I'm wondering, is this going to be the future of gaming, where you don't have to have that, especially now with the cryptocurrencies causing the video card prices to go through the roof? Is this now a way, like if my video card dies, would it be more cost advantage for me to just get a lower end PC and just go with this streaming type of service, rather than forking over the money to get a new 1060 or 1070 video card?
Well, that's a good point, honestly, because that does really make a barrier to entry for anybody who wants to get into gaming or even upgrade their computers. That's really interesting that more and more services like this would be offered, and I'm still really impressed that it's NVIDIA. I didn't even hear about it. I have NVIDIA, the whole GeForce thingy. I didn't even hear about this beta thingy.
That's what I'm thinking now that you're saying this. I'm kind of getting surprised at what I'm hearing NVIDIA doing as far as the kind of firmware or extra software things that they're doing, because one of the things that I've talked about a few times, I think I mentioned it in one of our maybe in the last Rated Arc podcast a little bit, or one of them was the NVIDIA Freestyle that they have now, which I like to play with during Arc, where it does the changes in rendering at playtime. So it's, the extra software that goes on, so that way if you are live streaming, it's allowing you to put extra effects in on your live stream, as opposed to having to do the post editing for your stuff to add in all kinds of special effects. And even if it's just like I said, I'm not using it for streaming, but I'm using it for my own game playing, because it makes some of the stuff pop even better with the color variations you can do. And I mean, if you want to, I've noticed a number of games, I think Arc's one included, they have options for film grain and all that. I'm guessing they do it for streamers, but I don't know if people ever actually play it in that mode normally. but that's some of the stuff you can do if you want to have kind of a different kind of cinematic experience as you're playing your game. You can do different effects like that. You can have it like a black and white or sepia, or all kinds of extra effects. So I'm just surprised to see NVIDIA's getting into so much extra type of things, because I always just think of them as making graphics cards and the drivers that go with it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta wonder, because they have their NVIDIA Shield, right? I think they have the tablet version, and then they have their like the gaming box. It's basically an Android box. I believe you have one. So
Oh, you mean the Switch? Oh wait.
But you gotta think, if they have this NVIDIA GeForce Now service available on their Shields, they could easily say, look, you can play all these games like that your Xbox One can play on our Shield, because they're now essentially streaming the game. And basically that machine that you have in your house, all it has to be able to do is have a high-speed internet to process the video.
That's a good point.
We Luminin gets to join us.
What's up, guys?
Looney!
Yay! And Dragoon Down, he thinks he can't do a cross realm cast because he just plays Ark, and I'm like, you can still talk about Ark on Cross Realm Cast.
And you can justify it as you're playing across different realms in Ark. You're playing on Ragnarok and Aberration.
Right.
Boom.
Yes. We were just talking with Cyber Judge. He was telling us about NVIDIA's new GeForce streaming. It's in beta though, right? Or
Yes,
a streaming service?
Yep.
Like, is it streaming like what we do on Twitch or Mixer, or is it streaming like you said, Liquid Sky, where you remotely access a supercomputer to play?
It's like Liquid Sky. I found it was a lot easier than Liquid Sky, so I did. I'm in the beta for Liquid Sky 2, or I don't know if they're calling it a beta or not, but I found their beta, like, you still had to watch advertising and stuff to earn so many credits to be able to get so much playtime on their lowest end machine, where NVIDIA is doing it where I don't have to do anything. I just am in the beta. They're not charging anything for it right now. They said it's free until the beta is over, and then they'll be announcing pricing. But I open it up, and it asks me to pick which game service I want, like Steam or Blizzard, the Blizzard launcher, and then I go in there and I can pick games, and they show their popular games, so I just fired it up now. So like when I load up, it says games, and it says most popular, and it has PUBG, Fortnite, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike, and League of Legends is their most popular ones. But then I can click on my library, which basically shows the games I've already said that I want to play. So I've got Ark and 7 Days to Die showing, so I could click. I own both of those, so you do have to own them. So if I tried clicking on Overwatch, for example, it probably wouldn't let me do it because I don't have it purchased.
Right. So you sign into your own account once you're logged into their service.
Yeah. So when I pick to play Ark, it makes me sign in with my Steam account, and then signs me into Steam that way, and then it starts streaming the Ark game, and yeah, like I said earlier, it's almost better. It almost was a better experience than running it from my local machines. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm beginning to wonder now, since you mentioned Overwatch, that being a definitely a competitive game where it's PvP only, makes me wonder if it's going to make it more or less susceptible to people running like front end hacking type thing, different mods and all that, because they would have some type of masking, from the actual Blizzard servers in that case, and might make it hard to ban all that stuff. I'm just wondering what it'll do with that, because any type of competitive PvP type thing, you're going to have people trying to take every advantage they can, and I think probably a lot of people would stay away from it because kind of the same people who use the mechanical keyboards and make sure never to use wireless devices if they're the high end competitive stuff, because the the milliseconds count when it comes to the Twitch things like that. So I think they would probably be in the same boat unless they can have some type of advantage where by having that that streaming data coming from there, if it I wonder if it's going to make it more, like I said, more susceptible to them being able to have some type of traffic sniffer or something extra on their computer that is manipulating, their input from that to the other server or something. Just curious, about that stuff. As I always say, those damn PvPers.
I don't know that GeForce is using this service to target those competitive players. Competitive players, I think they all have their massive gaming rigs with the 1080s or the 1070 Ti video cards and latest and greatest. I think the whole point of these streaming game services are for those casual gamers who want to be able to play the latest, greatest games, but can't necessarily afford the latest and greatest technology.
That's what I'm saying. That that's the target audience, unless they find that it's going to be advantageous to them to use it.
Sure.
I'm curious to see how it takes off, because I remember when the downloading games on Xbox or what have you. At first, people were kind of resistant because they liked that hard copy and they were afraid they'd lose that copy that they downloaded later on down the line. So I'm kind of curious to see how well this takes off.
Well, that was a big thing, right, with the Xbox One, right? When they initially announced the Xbox One, it was going to be all digital. There's going to be no discs or anything, and then Microsoft had to back away from that because there was such an uproar and when they first announced the Xbox. So it's kind of interesting now that these services are now coming out and attracting interest.
Yeah, one of the things I was saying, I think it was before you guys came in here, is it sounds very similar to the format that's used in a lot of corporate architecture with the not cloud, thin client architecture. And so I wonder, they're probably learning a lot from that. I'm going to guess just, the mistakes and the trials and tribulations that are dealt with there. So, they have that experience to go on, which would be good for them.
Well, that is really cool. It's pretty neat that this is an option, because I think that is a lot of reason why I have 78 friends on my Arc. When I go to play Arc, it's you have 78 friends that own this game, and I maybe have 5 of them that are playing it still. Or maybe 5 that I see playing. And I think a lot of it was people bought the game and was well, damn, my computer can't even run this. And so it's so frustrating that, there's so I think this is cool that there's a lot of games out there that are really cool that a lot of people buy, and they're well, what the hell? I can't even run this on my computer, and I don't want to have to upgrade just to play one game or whatever. So stuff like this is going to be a game changer, I think, or it'll definitely seal the gap for a lot of games.
Yep,
in my opinion.
I agree.
That's cool.
I'm just hoping too many people aren't cautious about it. Too cautious, I should say.
I don't know that you'd really be out anything, so it's almost it almost behoove them to be try a week for free. You know what I mean? And then go from there. That'd be really cool if they did something like that.
They're gonna have to really hit that price point, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to do a Netflix pricing model or something like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. It'd be you can play a half an hour and then you have to listen to a commercial.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no.
I know, that'd be horrible. Hulu was do you want the $7 special where you have to listen to 4 commercials in between, or do you want no commercials for $15?
Oh, don't even start me on Hulu, because because they started off, they had Hulu where it's okay, you could listen to it, then you get the commercials, but then we have Hulu Plus, they'll get rid of commercials. And then a couple years later, oh no, Hulu Plus now doesn't have commercials. Hulu Plus just allows you to use Hulu on other devices. You have to have Hulu Plus in order to not get commercials anymore.
Sure.
I was just are you freaking kidding me? You're going to charge me a service and still have your commercials in there? Yeah, it's
right.
Gotta love that plus.
I cut them.
Exactly, plus. Good lord.
I mean, I didn't call it plus. That's just what I called it.
Right,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not much different than cable charging you and then making you watch commercials. But, I mean, the whole reason I'd gotten Hulu Plus was to get rid of those commercials. And I guess also I got it because you couldn't stream on your Xbox without Hulu Plus. You could only stream on your desktop computers and stuff. So that was the other reason I had originally got it. But yeah, that pissed me off.
For good reason. All right, well, if you're done, I'll start yakking.
Yep, that's it for me, I think.
Okay, well, what I've been doing is I've just been playing a lot of Ark. We obviously, for those who are just finding us, we also do an ARC podcast called Rated ARC, and you can find that at ratedarc.com. And I've been playing a lot of ARC, and we just got done wrapping up the Valentine's Day event last week, but all the Valentine's Day dinos are still rocking it out, so because we play on an unofficial server, so that's cool. And Goon, my roomie here, and then my half roomie, because he kind of goes everywhere, Luminen. We have quite a collection of pink and white and purple and fuchsia dinosaurs.
Got all the hot things.
All up in our base.
You guys were feeling the love.
Oh God, I swear I hit that hardcore. Like the first day it came out, I just went to town. Second day, went to I was so afraid that the window of the Valentine's Day dinos was just gonna disappear before I could get everything. So I was just taming everything. I didn't care what level it was, what gender it was. I was just shooting everything, tranking it, teleporting it back, and then it dawned on me, hello, we have the Pokeball mod. Like just I felt like I was doing it really good, like really fast, and then it dawned on me I could have been doing it even more efficient with the Pokeball mod. So once I learned that, it was a bad thing. Like I have my whole Pokeball thing is full of Valentine's Day dinos now.
Yeah, I was being more selective. I was seeing some nice things like, oh, that looks great, but it's level 30.
Not
yeah,
me, man.
Forget that one. I'm not grabbing you. I was at least holding some standards to them for a while.
I was really digging Goon Snails.
Oh my God, yeah, Goon Snails. He found some really cool patterns on these snails. They had, like blue, yeah, because you saw the ones that had the racing stripes. You pointed out. That was awesome.
But yeah, my latest is you guys, saw the pictures on the Discord of my Gigantopithecus.
Yes. They're so pretty. Like the colors. And I think what's really cool is that those colors they're not just like for the holiday and they're gone. Like they actually stay in for the breeding and the mutations, right? Because that's how
exactly.
you're getting.
Yep, they do. That's
so cool. Now, did you guys play during the Christmas holiday? I haven't talked to anybody who did because I didn't get to. Did any of you guys?
No, I was too busy.
How about you, Cyber? Did you get to play during Christmas on ARC at all with the Christmas colored dinos?
I did because I was playing on Promo's server that he was running at the time. So it was just an aberration, but I didn't go looking. Lately, I've gotten tired of doing the taming stuff. I go in there and I build a little bit, and that's what my focus has been in ARC. Like, if you look at my little building, or where I'm building on Fell's server, I'm just focusing on, like, building a windmill and playing basically with the castle mod because it's something new, and I'm focused on, like, I tamed a beaver to get me my wood. I tamed a Doedicurus for the stone and stuff, but I just tamed things I need to get the resources, and then I've been focusing on building, so I haven't been going out. Like, I didn't go out and get any of the Valentine's Day things. I tried using the Pokeballs to do the taming, but I couldn't figure out those, so I'm just using them so that if they die, I still get them back. I don't lose the tames I got because they're in a Pokeball, but...
Which is cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
If it works.
Yeah, but I haven't been able to figure out how to tame, because you're supposed to apparently be able to, like, get something down to really low health and then throw a Pokeball and capture it and tame it that way, but I haven't been successful in that, but...
I wouldn't be successful in that because Goon found a really cool gun, or a blueprint for the sword, and it like has how much is it, like 615 damage, Goon?
Yeah, something that's 678.
It's nuts. So like 1-2 hits, everything's like that. So I wouldn't even be able to get my Pokeball out because that sword is like a freaking lawnmower. It just mows those puppies down.
Yeah, that's like one thing that I noticed that I've been building more so than others. I have, I think, either like 500% or 600% melee damage. So when I swing my sword, I'm doing 2k damage, and yeah, I just face tank a lot of stuff with that.
Gosh, it's fun. It's fun. What was your favorite one, Goon, out of all the Valentine's Day dinos that we came across?
My beetle.
Your beetle?
Yeah, I got a really colorful beetle, yellow and pink and red.
Ooh, I didn't see that one yet with the yellow in it. No, that's cool. Probably because they're in like a big swarm of beetles. That's awesome. Somebody linked I made a YouTube video of my Valentine's Day shenanigans that I actually got on. Who put that in there? Was that
I did.
Luminen? I was gonna say, was that Luminen?
I was watching that. I've never heard somebody gasp so much in 20 minutes. Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that!
I was just like blown away. I was so excited with these freaking. Oh, it's crazy. And the what made me blow my mind was the pink horse running majestically across, and then that jackass Cardinal that was like chasing after. I'm like, no, leave it alone.
My favorite thing is like, why do we have no carrots in these crop plots? Oh, wait a minute. I have a box for this.
Exactly. I was so annoyed. I'm like, oh yeah, there's Ma that sucks all of our crops out of her crop plots and puts it in a nice little box.
I had forgot about it. I was expecting Goon to have just like harvested everything and like stuff in the, he is
right,
grabbing everything, organizing it.
Oh, so Lumen, you'd be pleased to hear this. So I had all my feather lights following a bear, so they weren't mating. And then I went over today and I activated my mutators, then told them to stop following, so they mated. And I got, I think, 53 eggs in that mating.
Oh my god, something's crazy with those feather lights. That's nuts.
Man, I was terrified. I was like, you know what? I need to call the masses here. There's way too many of them.
Right. No kidding.
Press J. I couldn't move. So I turned off the.
Ridiculous.
I went to. I did the cheap fly, so I was just standing in midair. So I turned it off, and I couldn't fall. There were so many of them. I was standing on their backs.
That's messed up.
Oh gosh, it was crazy. In the end, I'm like, all right, there's a level 170 rock drake. You guys go do your thing. Not one of them died.
Aw.
I was like, welp. This is terrifying.
Yeah, that in the pictures you were taking was terrifying. That's for sure. I'm like, no, because a lot like Goon and I just landed on Aberration, and I think Malorium just joined on the cluster, and then Blue came over for the first time this past weekend. So, yep. And so, yeah, that's on our YouTube channel too. You can see our shenanigans as well on just follow the link and then find that one. I guess I'll have to link it now since I referenced it. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Some of us being there for the first time. So I've been playing a lot of Ark. So that's what I've been doing in game. And outside of game, just trying to get all of our shows lined up, moving some of our shows over to a new podcast host. I've been trying to I do like a solo podcast called IDK Cast. I've been trying to knock out at least 2 of those a week. So, and I've been learning a lot of things while I do it, because it's called I Don't Know Cast, because there's a lot of stuff like I just share like weird news or good news stories and like weird facts. And like I didn't know yesterday was like National Pig Day, National Dadgum That's Good Day. I had no idea until like I looked the stuff up to share it, and I'm like, oh my god, and then it gets burnt into my head, and then I feel really smart at the end of recording because I learned a bunch of stuff. Like I think it was like if you farted for 6 days straight, you would have enough gas saved up to measure an atomic bomb. I think it was something like that. But a lot of crazy facts. So I've been doing that. And I've started watching the show. It was on the BBC a while back. It was called Miranda. And I'm very persnickety with like what I watch on TV. I hate dramas because I don't like crying. I don't like crybaby crap. And I also don't like scary stuff. So I strictly comedy or action. Like that's all I'll do. And so it's really kind of hard for me to find something that I like, and I don't like watching stuff over and over again because then it's stupid. So, but I was cracking up watching this very bizarre show. It's called Miranda, and it's this lady who's like 6'1", and she's always mistaken for a man, and her mom is really, it's like she's a comedian, I guess. I'd never heard of her at first, but her name was Miranda Hart, and she had like her own sitcom for a couple years, like 4 or 5 years. So I have been laughing my ass off. It's way more funny than I thought it was, just because their humor's funny. It just has a really good vibe to it. I don't know if you guys would like it, but I like it. It might be something. No, it might not be something you can watch at work, Cyber, because I know you're always looking for stuff you can watch at work that's like family friendly. Mm-hmm. And I don't. They don't say like bad things, but like Miranda owns a joke shop with her friend, and they have a lot of penis kind of jokes, like. They had like these penis suckers, and they're like hitting each other with them. Like the whole show is just so funny, but it has like it's like a lighthearted, clean humor. But I still don't think that would pass the work thing.
Depends on where you work.
It's a lot of tongue in cheek kind of humor, but it's really it's cracking me up. So
no, I have to stay with Fuller House style.
Yeah, Fuller House is all you probably can do. Yeah, I agree. That or documentaries of like otters. I don't know. So shows that you definitely couldn't watch is like The Magicians. I know you can't watch that, but I've been watching off from Sci-Fi. Magicians has started back up, so I'm back into that. I love watching Lucifer and the Blacklist off from off from, I think it was like NBC and ABC, like mainstream TV shows, but you can catch like the past seasons on like Netflix, and I think Lucifer's on Hulu, and the past ones are on Blacklist is on Netflix, but those are some of my favorites.
So, have you watched iZombie or Santa Clarita Diet at all?
I can't because she eats brains, and that makes me want to vomit. Like, I really thought about doing it, but I can't.
Real, like, iZombie's not real. Like, it's hilarious. It's good.
Brains, but she makes them like into omelets or into stir fry.
I wanted to watch it. I want to watch it, but I hate zombie stuff. And I have a weak stomach. Like, I was the kid that, like, when we were, like, dissecting earthworms in, like, 2nd grade, I was in the back doing literally a dinosaur book report because I cannot process. I can't.
Well, then Santa Clarita Diet definitely is not for you. But,
no, I can't. I know.
But iZombie's not too bad. Santa Clarita Diet, I was laughing, like, hard. But then again, I've always liked Drew Barrymore to begin with.
Yeah, so. I love Drew Barrymore. That's why I'm so conflicted. I freaking love Drew Barrymore, but I can't do... I have such a squeamish stomach. I just can't.
I think iZombie would be okay. It's more It's more on a lighter, humorous...
Okay.
Side. It doesn't get too gory, I don't think, personally. But, like, I wouldn't let my 10-year-old daughter watch it, but... I like it. I'm not one to like my wife watches Walking Dead, and I won't watch that, but I can watch iZombie.
Yeah, essentially,
I'll give it a go
iZombie,
then.
like I kind of call it Veronica Mars with twist.
Okay, I think, and I've been so on the fence with that because I do like a lot of CW shows, like The 100. I love that. But when this came up, I was like, God, I just can't wrap my mind around because zombie. Like, I'm with you, Cyber. Like Mossy, my husband, he'll sit there and just. I can't even handle the noises. I think if I just don't look at it, I'll be okay. And then I hear them going, and like all the weird fleshy noises, and it just really does me in. I just can't. I just can't.
And speaking of Veronica Mars, have you watched The Good Place at all?
I freaking love The Good Place. I love that show.
I'm about halfway through it,
my God,
I am
love
liking
that show. And Superstore. Have you guys watched Superstore?
No.
That's hilarious.
God, watch Superstore. It is the best.
That is hilarious.
Oh, God. So, how have you been keeping up on it, too, Goon?
Every week.
Oh, God, that is the funniest damn show. If you haven't seen that one, Cricket, it's like, I guess, because I never watched The Office, but I always heard everybody loved it. Like, The Office was so funny. But, like, the Superstore is, like, literally, it's, like, a generic version or knockoff of, like, a Walmart. And it has, like, but it's called Cloud9. And, like, all the store employees, like, the whole show is about the employees in the store and the shenanigans that they're doing in the store and the customers. It's just a funny show. Super funny.
So The Office, I just watched that within the past year. And,
did you like it? I haven't.
I did. I loved it. I tried watching it before, and I only got through maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, this is all right. But then I finally broke down and watched it, and went through and just binged the whole series, and it was great. It makes you laugh, makes you cry, just because the Jim and Pam stuff. It's like you see some of the stuff, and it's like, oh, they're so cute.
Aw. I have heard a lot of good things about it. I just haven't got to it, but I definitely good one. That the Good Place, really good, and the Superstore, really, really good. And I think both of those are on
I know The Good Place is on Netflix because that's where I'm watching it.
Okay, Superstore is on Hulu then. Or you can just watch it on if you have normal TV, basic CBS, NBC, ABC stuff, it's on there too.
Oh, I can probably get on Kodi.
Yeah. So I just was curious because I saw this phone come across in my newsfeed. I didn't know if you guys had seen it. It's called, they're calling it the dumb phone now because now we've had so smart phones. Have you guys seen this yet?
I just read through the article.
It's just a basic phone like all of us grew up with, but it looks like a smartphone, but it just does phone calls and text messages.
Man, that's dumb.
I know.
Oh, that'd be so mean to give to a kid.
I know. I'm totally giving this is all my kids would be allowed to have. The Light Phone 2, it says, is a gorgeous minimalist dumb phone that can do only a handful of things. The phone doesn't have any apps. Instead, it can make calls, send texts, handle simple directions, and set alarms. And it's from Light, the company behind the phone, wants to make a device that is used as little as possible to get people off their smartphones. And so I did put the link to that in the show notes. So well, I'll just ask. I'll start from the top. Luminen, I know you're Amish. Is this something that is up your line, or could you get rid of your smartphone for the dumb phone?
Simply because I Discord with all the CRR and all that, I couldn't. But I mean, it's intriguing. It looks like you can pre-order the new one for $250.
Yeah. Yep.
The only thing it says it. Okay, let me get this straight. It says you can set alarms with it, make calls, text messages. And that's it, right?
And it says handle simple directions, so I don't know how that is because I don't really see a screen.
Right, and it says if you scroll down under one of the pictures, it's just like a little thing there. It says plus the phone has a headphone jack, but it doesn't do music or podcast. So why?
Yeah,
maybe headsets for the car.
Yeah, hands free for your car.
Oh, maybe.
Well, it's got Bluetooth, I think.
Yeah, but not all headsets are Bluetooth capable.
I guess.
But this is what I thought was cool was the fact that the reason why I can get behind the reason why they came out with it was because they said there was a recent data from analytics company Flurry found that people in the U.S. use their mobile devices for 5 hours a day, while a study from the tech support firm Asurion found that Americans check their phones 80 times a day on average, and they were wanting to roll us back a bit. Because they're like, we got too many people all up in their smartphones. They're not taking the time to spend with their family and their friends, going outside, reading a good book before bed. People are just sitting on their phone, looking at Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat, and they're not really doing a lot of the stuff that people used to do, you know? So I can get behind that because I think we're all kind of guilty of that.
Oh, yeah, I think if you're only checking your phone 80 times a day, that's weak.
80 times. 80
yeah, I mean,
times. God.
You know how many?
You know, there's an app, I guess, that counts how many times. Oh gosh, I'll look that up while you guys talk and stuff. But there's an app that actually counts how many times you pick your phone up, so you can kind of get real with yourself. I heard about it. I'll check on it and I'll get back with you guys. But
do it.
God, that's crazy.
I mean, I like the looks of this. I think it looks really cool.
Right.
It's very clean looking. It's small. I like that there's not like a regular screen on it. It's like a matte finish, and it's like backlit, right?
Yeah, yep.
Size of a credit card, only 6.5 millimeters thick, which I think it's really cool. I like it.
Right.
I would use this as a companion, certainly for my smartphone.
It for. Isn't that funny?
The first one, the second one, it says that they're actually wanting people to give up the smartphone, which, you know what? I don't think I could do it.
What if you had your tab, like, because we have, like, the Samsung tablets through Verizon, so in essence, it's like a phone, but it's not, because you can't call on it, but, like, I think I could take this with me out, or whatever, and then just have my tablet in case I need, like, a GPS, or I need to, look up something real quick, like if a business is open, or, you know how a lot of businesses do those coupons online, and you gotta, like, show up, like, I bet I could.
Right.
I could, but then you're like, well, why don't you just, like, it's just kind of like, well, then why don't you have a smartphone?
It defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah,
because guess what? Oh, you have the cell signal for your tablet, but
yes, yep.
But if you're in an area with, well, I don't know, it wouldn't matter either way. I don't know. I'm just
they suckered us in. They're like, this tablet's only $1, and it literally was. It was only $1.
Yeah.
But then they're like, but now then you get your bill and you're like, damn it, they got us, because it's like they charge you that another line. They charge you like another line for it. But
yeah.
If you have kids, it's worth it, I guess, because they get bored and you got a lot
especially
of
car trips.
Yes, it's a lifesaver. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So what do you think, Blue? Have you looked at it? Did you get the chance to? I don't know if you got the show notes I hooked into the thing.
I didn't get the show notes.
Okay, somebody wants to send Big Blue it, but does it sound like something you would want to do?
I could not possibly do that at all. Like, I can't disconnect like that. Even when I'm at work, I'm allowed a headset at work to where I can just sit there and listen to music, podcasts, whatever. I'm terrible with driving directions, so I am constantly using Google Maps to find places when I go somewhere.
Right.
So me personally, no, I couldn't use something like that. But for kids starting off, that sounds like an amazing starter phone.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't use my phone at work. We have to keep them locked up. But yeah, I mean, even outside of work, I use my phone all the time. I mean, even if it's stuff like for streaming my music, because I don't want to have to be at the mercy of the radio station when I'm in the car for 40 minutes driving
Right.
to and from work. And I stream my stuff on Spotify, or I listen to podcasts or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, getting away from that consumption of media, I couldn't do it.
See, that's a big thing for me is the
Right.
podcast and audiobooks. I do a mindless job for, between 6 to 10 hours a day.
You need something, to keep your brain stimulated. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you, because it's kind of, I've been in jobs like that before, and it's just like, God, I do really feel like you have all this big chunk of time during your day that you could at least be learning something or being engaged mentally, because the job you're doing is not really challenging, it's monotonous. And if you didn't have something mentally stimulating you, it would just be horrendous.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of these people that I work with that they don't do anything and they notice everything and it drives them insane and they complain and they're angry.
Right.
And you know what? Hey, calm down, stick some earbuds in your ears, listen to a book, listen to a podcast. You're engaged in something else, not focusing on, well, that guy over there's got time and I don't, and his job's better and blah, blah, blah. It's a positivity thing.
Yep, I agree.
Now you got time for sleeping.
Yeah. So, Goon, does this sound like something that you could do?
Yeah, I could do that. My mother-in-law has one, something like that. We call it a flip phone.
Is it the jitterbug? Is it the senior phone, the jitterbug?
We got her a flip phone. I could do this. I don't have no problem doing this. I don't mind putting my phone down and leaving it alone.
I think my biggest vice right now is Discord. Saying.
Yeah, being able to get a hold of each other in Discord is really handy. Really handy.
I take all my podcast stuff, I put them on my iPad, and I Bluetooth to that, and that's what I listen to all day. I download it before work, and...
Oh, that's handy. That is handy. How about you, Cyber? Is this something that you could get behind, or no?
Hell no.
Not even a
technology, though.
For a reason. There's a big no.
The gavel came down.
But I find it interesting you mentioned this phone, because I know I don't remember what the big conference was where Samsung did their announcement of their new Samsung phone, but Nokia announced a new phone. It's the they're calling it the banana phone from the Matrix. It's being made by Nokia. It's the 8110, and I'll just link this. Let me put it in the show notes. The link to The Verge. I'll just put it underneath your last point on the notes here, right there. If you click on that link, they talk about this. It's essentially a what I guess they call them feature phone, right? It's not a smartphone.
Well, that is really cool, because I've not even heard about that yet.
Yeah, it was just announced this past week. I forget which conference it was where Samsung did their announcement of their Samsung Galaxy 9 phone and stuff. So, but I'm looking at it. It has 512 megabytes of RAM, so very small compared to like our 2 gigabytes in our smartphones nowadays, and it's only got 4 gigabytes of storage on it compared to our 32 and 64. So. It's only a 2 megapixel camera and a 2.4 inch screen.
So that's smarter than this phone, honestly.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty strange. It looks like it's like a tricorder from Star Trek or something.
Does it like pop? Oh, this is a video. Hold on.
Because on the picture of the one that I have, it actually shows a person fitting this little phone in like a wallet, almost. Like a leather-sized wallet. So it's super tiny.
Yeah. I don't think this one's that small, but it looks like you pull down on it to get the dial pad out and stuff like that.
This totally is a Nokia phone. No joke. Yep. This looks like... This was one of the first... Nokia was one of the first phones that I bought with my own money. It was like CenturyTel was a thing back then.
Oh, gosh.
Is it one of those classic bricks?
No, I had a bag phone. That was the very first phone I used, was a bag phone. And that my parents had it, and they're like, you can't go out of the house without the bag phone. And we had to like put it underneath the car seat because nobody wanted to be seen. I would have rather had no phone than carry that damn suitcase phone with me everywhere. Like... That was great. But it did save my butt one day. We did get a flat tire. My sister and I were on like whole other town away, and I had to bust out the suitcase and call old mama, come get me.
Crank it a little bit.
I know, yeah. It's like a little crank phone, exactly. Oh yeah. But yeah, this totally screams Nokia. That's interesting.
But I find it interesting that nowadays in the world of iPhones and Samsung and Google phones, that Nokia is coming. Like, I know they failed bad with doing a Windows phone, but now they're going back to
Windows
feature
was
phones.
A nightmare. holy, yeah. That I felt bad for anybody who got a Windows phone, honestly, because it was just like it just went down really fast. And then they were really like, "No, I love my Windows phone. It's amazing." And then like later on, they're like, "I hate this damn phone." It was horrible. It was
honeymoon is over, and
yeah, it was like when the Nook came out. It was like either you bought the Nook or the Kindle. And then, like, obviously the Kindle took off, whoosh, and the Nook kind of got, like, it was, like, stupid. It didn't last. It's not as good as the Kindle, because Amazon has a lot of power behind it, and they have their own app store that they were up to date on, and it was kind of a crapshoot. Do I get a Windows phone? No, don't get a Windows phone.
Well, I think it all came down to the app stores, right? So
yeah, the app stores
everything
is the thing. Yeah.
Google and Apple have that market cornered. So
oh yeah, they do.
Microsoft couldn't get that leverage. Same with BlackBerry. That's why BlackBerry is now making the hardware, but they're using Android on their phones because they just couldn't maintain the App Store to compete with the Google Play and the Apple Store.
Yeah, 'cause that's actually like the reason why I ended up getting an iPhone versus some flavor of Android, because I had the iPad for so long, and so I had all kinds of apps already purchased and all that. I'm like, well,
right.
I don't want to have to repurchase these same type of apps. I'm going to go with the iPhone where everything I purchase just transfers over.
Yep, you're locked into the Apple ecosystem because you started with one device. Apple's been very smart with that, where they get you on one thing and then you're locked in with them. You can't really. Right. It's very difficult to navigate out of that.
Break free.
Yep.
That's so true. And I might have to step away for a second to let Mr. Sky in, but I had a quick question before I go. I'm running into something, and I figured I had a captive audience, and all of you guys are men or male or identify with being a male. My little one, he's 4. Okay, I just wanted a guy's take on this. He is now, I'm struggling with the potty training. He'll pee all day long, and he's getting the pooping down in the potty like 75% of the time, but like 25% of the time he craps himself and it gets stuck all up in his business, right? And he's like, "Mommy, what is this stuck on?" And like, I'm like, "Well, what do I call that?" Like, it's his ball sack. So I'm like, I said, "Well, honey, that's your ball sack." And I thought, well, damn, did I just say like something bad? Because when you read like parenting magazines, they're like, you need to call it by its anatomically correct. I'm like, I don't want to say scrotum. I don't want to say like, what do you call him? His
berries.
I call it his twig and berries. But he was like, see, I'm wondering because I always call it twig and berries, but they're like, you shouldn't call genitalia cute names because it's bad and it teaches bad. So I'm like torn. I'm like, so in the man world, like, how do you handle that? Because I called him his ball sack, and I laughed my ass off the other day when he yelled at me from the bathroom, "Mom, can you come help me wipe this poop off my ball sack?" And I was like rolling on it. I'm like, I prefer calling this because I'm selfish because I like hearing him yell at ball sack. I don't know, but. Well, because my husband is no help. He just thinks it's hilarious, and he's all for saying ball sack. But yeah, how do you guys handle that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
what would you say?
I honestly can't remember what term we had used for his ball sack. I know we used wiener for
He said this too all on his own, but and I was like, where did he get wiener from? Like, so I'm thinking it must have been my husband, but
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree not to call genitalia by like cute names because if somebody touches them inappropriately, like for example, I had a cousin and my mom was talking to me about this. She's like, they told her to call her private parts her cookie. So
really?
and then somebody touched my cookie. They're going, well, okay, so what? That becomes an issue with like sexual harassment or assault.
And that's what I'm wondering, like.
I see.
Although if he does say someone touched my ball sack, you're not gonna be
exactly. That's my thinking. That's fine because
that's not,
you know exactly what he's
talking about. Okay.
Rodney Dangerfield has a lot of balls.
And that's where I was on the fence with, because ever since he was a little one, I would call like twig and berries, like what Blue was saying. But then like I am hearing more and more, don't give it that cutesy name or whatever, because somebody would be like, oh, what is that? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of takes the seriousness away from their privates. Yep. So then I just flippantly said, oh, well, that's your ball sack. I'm like, oh my God, is this bad? Am I going to scar my kid? Like how from the guy world, like what? Well,
when you're in church,
like what works for you? Like, what did you tell your kids or whatever?
Yeah, but when you're in church and you hear your son screaming from the bathroom, Mom, I need to wipe the poop off my ball sack.
I know, that's why I'm torn.
It's gonna be fantastic.
My ball sack is stuck to my legs. What do I do?
Yeah.
So in my house, we kind of it evolved over time. Like it started off as your jewels, your family jewels, and then as I got a little older, we started calling them nards. And then they got introduced to YouTube, and they learned ball sack.
Oh, see? So I might just be speeding things up, but he's going to end up there anyways, right?
Yeah, I think
we may have just used balls.
Yeah.
YouTube is a self-teacher, I'm just saying.
Well, there's nothing wrong with calling it something. Because later on, they're going to name it something different anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So I just thought, get your guys' opinion, because Mr. Scott, he wasn't that much help. He was just rolling and like tearing up and laughing his butt off.
That's probably what I would have been doing.
Cute about a 4-year-old yelling from the other end of the house.
Try a marble bag.
But yeah, call it what? A marble bag. Yeah, that might be like what Luminate, like I was torn. I'm like, I think that's half the part of having kids or being a parent. You're like, what the hell? Like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like
exactly.
one way. Right.
There's so many more situations where you're damned if you do anyway.
Yes.
I don't know, when I was a kid, my mom called mine George.
Just not he's yelling it from church, right?
or in public
parents
anywhere.
will understand.
I guess it depends. Maybe, yeah. Okay, cool.
I've never had to cross that road yet with my 4-year-old.
How old? How old is your?
He's turning 4 in May.
Oh my God, it's coming.
Sooner than you think.
I'm always having to tell him to put his wiener back in his pants. And my wife's always like, did you ever think you'd have to be telling somebody to put, but
No.
I do use the proper term, and we do call it what it is. But
right. Well, I've been saying ball sack like 20 times. You can say penis.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, so we do tell him to put his penis back in his pants, and he goes around talking about his penis and using the proper term for that. But we never had to talk about the ball sack. So
okay, it's coming then, because poop gets stuck up in there, and he really needs help. So it will be there.
Maybe he should pull up and hold it out of the way while he poops.
He's not doing that. This was because he missed the potty. Like he went in his undies and he missed the potty on this. Like he's getting like a 75% hit time, but there's that sketchy 25% where he's not thinking and he just shits himself. Like we've taught him shart because he's a master sharter. Like he shit farts, and he's let that word slip around my husband's side of the family, and they're a little persnickety. Like, we're the black sheep because we say shart, like, they're very persnickety people. So I would, like, my face, like, I was just like, oh, like, my face says, hey, Mama, I think I sharted at, like, the dinner table. And I was like, oh, my God, like, so, like, we're those people, we think it's hilarious, but everybody else is like, oh, they have no sense of humor whatsoever. So, yeah.
I know with my son, he, like playing video games or watching YouTube, he'd just hold it too long. And that was his thing.
That's the thing. They do. They hold it forever. They hold that stuff prisoner. So, all right. Well, I won't hold this conversation prisoner anymore.
So we appreciate start my section
thank
out now.
You for that knowledge. I knew you guys would know because a lot of you have been there or on your way there
or dreading it.
Dreading it. You have no idea. I would rather my son yell ball sack than do the organic painting.
Oh, I remember the story.
Picasso.
Weeks on end,
yes,
organic painting.
I luckily never had a Picasso.
God, the Picasso, that is so... My son is that asshole. He was a Picasso, and he remembers it now. Just the other day, he busted out. He's like, and he's only 4. He's like, you remember? And he was talking to his sister. He's like, you remember, Sissy, when I used to draw my wall with my poop? And I'm like, oh my God, he remembers doing this jackwagon stuff. He remembers. So
wasn't he painting his toys with it too?
Everything. It was his toys, his carpet. His carpet looks like a crazy person because there's bleach marks everywhere. We just bleached everything. All the things were bleached. I didn't even waste time cleaning stuff. I just throw it away. I'm like, meh. Not my problem. You're gonna wipe poop on it, it's out of here. I'm not gonna sit there with a toothbrush like cleaning out little kid toys as all those little crevices and buttons. Nope.
I
felt
not miss
bad.
that stage.
Oh God, it was horrible. I don't. You feel kind of bittersweet. You're like, you don't want them to grow up, but you're like, fuck. You're like, grow up now, and then
every stage you're gonna have the issues.
Oh, what is it? What?
Every stage of you're gonna have some different issues. You're gonna be like,
If I
man,
have
it
a
was so much easier when I just had to
painting
worry
with his
about whether
fecal
I called
matter
it
on
the
my
ball
wall,
sack or not.
They have all new issues. My boss has been
God.
warning me about my daughter because my daughter's turning 10.
Oh yes, have fun.
He says, yeah, that the fun is still yet to come. Like,
It's still yet to come.
Yeah, that's
true.
about that's the age of my daughter. She's she turns 10 this summer, and yeah, she is such the drama queen. I don't know where she gets it from because
Right.
neither my wife or I are much into drama at all. But she just it drives
Really
me
hits
crazy.
at home.
my boss warned me that when they turn he's got a 12-year-old daughter, and said wait till they get closer to that preteen age. He's
That's
like, it gets
it.
worse.
Yes, it's like we all become possessed, body snatched.
You guys
Yeah.
make me happy. I had boys.
Well,
it's
I'm gonna
just
go
so-
let Mossy in, and you guys, Cricket's next, so feel free to take it over whenever you need to. I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, and it's just so funny how one morning it'll be you're the best daddy in the world, and then by the afternoon is I hate my family, I want to find a new family.
Nobody's listening to me. I get that all the time. Why can't you listen to me? Or
you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm like, no, I hear you and I understand what you're saying. You're just wrong.
yeah,
But
I can't do anything right.
But I guess since I'm driving this boat now, I will steer us back into gaming.
There we
this is
go.
my
Let's
section
do it.
now.
Bring it up.
Yeah, so Diablo 3, they started Season 13 last week. I've been playing Diablo 3 on and off since it launched, mainly because I've been I guess kind of a Diablo fanatic in a way, over the years. So yeah, I picked, so that's what I've been doing the past week. I've been less on Arc. I've still been logging in to do stuff like that, but I've been playing my new seasonal character. I really haven't been following this stuff as it goes through. Like I'll get on sometimes when a season starts, and I'll play for a couple weeks, and then I'll stop. I don't think there's anything really new with this season except I think it's the second season since the Necromancer's been out. So I've been seeing a lot of Necromancers if I join public games. I had played around with the Necromancer some last season, and while the Necromancer was my favorite back in Diablo 2, it really hasn't just caught my love just yet. I'll have to try it some more. But I decided to go with the monk again this season, which it was my second character when I first started the game. I enjoyed it. Witch Doctor, though, is still my favorite. And if you look at the show notes, I even have the Witch Doctor mouse pad that I had bought from the Steel Series mouse pads. I really liked the look of it, and just it's a nice big mouse pad, and I love it. So I had to put the image up there.
So for me, Witch Doctors were cool, but I could just never get into that playstyle for some reason.
Yeah, the playstyle of them, they have a few different. Completely different play styles. You have the pet builds, and you have some of the other ones, and yeah, it takes some time. Like I'll sit there and when I play it for the season, I'll look up the build and I'll be like, well, how the heck do I even play this build? It's like there's nothing I can spam because everything is just a spender, and you blow through it so quick or something like that. It definitely seems to have a learning curve, but then once you get it for a lot of builds, it's like, man, this thing just tears through things. But yeah, it definitely, a lot of their builds are not as straightforward as like a Wizard Disintegrate build, or going around and just pounding stuff with a big hammer or something like that. Crusader is the same way. Some of their builds, at least in some of the past seasons, I did not like their playstyle. Like they had the Thorns build going for a while. I don't know if that's still even a thing, but like all you did was you just ran around on your horse and just let things beat on you and that your Thorns do damage. I was like, that's boring.
I'm back now. So we're talking about Diablo. Is that what we're talking about, or no?
Correct. Talking about Diablo.
All right.
But yeah, if any of y'all play Diablo and want to play, I can always power level you with a seasonal character, because that's always the boring part. The kind of like all the Blizzard games, the game starts at max level. Going through that build up a level is kind of painful when you've done it for 20, 30 times. WoW is one of those now. Like, I haven't played WoW in a while, but when I first started playing, it was fun leveling up, but yeah, there was only so much you could do leveling up. So many wolf ears and pig assholes you could collect for turning in for quests.
Pig assholes, I like it.
Blue, you're a Google Doc virgin, aren't you?
I am. I very much am.
That's pig.
I'm gonna see it throwing his hands in the air, going, "I'm not touching anything," and it's doing stuff.
I was just looking at it, and all of a sudden things started happening. I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, we use Google Docs for our show notes, and as our listeners will find out, Big Blue, this is the first time we sent him the link so he could join in on us impromptu, and we let each other know when we're AFK in our TeamSpeak channel or in our Google Docs. That really one time freaked my friend Jay and I. We did a World of Warcraft podcast together, and she would share the bedroom had her and her husband's computer in it, and she's in California, I'm in Michigan, and the same thing happened to her husband. He lost his mind. He thought her computer was possessed because he looked over and all of a sudden she was getting ready to record and she went to the bathroom and I was waiting for her. So I'm sitting there typing and he just saw a document filling itself out while she was gone, and he was losing it. She said he started yelling for her and all this stuff, and she's like, "Settle down." And I'm like, and it was funny because both of them have like office jobs, and I was like, how does he not know about Google Docs?
That's fantastic.
It was, so don't feel bad. There is a whole sector of humanity that this would equally freak out.
That's given me a lot of ideas.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool thing. But yeah, Diablo is cool. It's just like what you said, Cricket. It's like I have made multiple starter characters and I've never efficiently ever leveled one all the way, because you always start playing with someone and they do the seasonal characters and everybody's all like, and it's almost like trickery. It's like a new season started and it's like a new hype train comes into town and everybody's like, let's roll a seasonal. And then is there really a reason to, or is there how does that work? Why would you roll a seasonal? Or is it literally just a hype train?
So at least with Diablo 3, with the seasonals, when the season is over, that character just becomes a normal character. And so,
okay.
And any extra of the Paragon levels, which are kind of the levels after max level that you gain, all that extra experience you gained goes towards, the Paragon levels, it's bonus experience above max level that gets shared across all of your characters.
Oh, okay.
So it just allows, even if you play your big character, it helps your little characters out, and if you play your little characters, it can help your big character out, because it has that max thing, or the Paragon levels, and so any experience you had towards Paragon levels in seasonal gets thrown in with your non-seasonal when the season's over. So you really don't lose anything; you just lose access to all of the the equipment that you had gathered before. But everything you gained during seasonal, you get access to in the off season, which is nice. Whereas with Diablo 2, when they started their seasonal stuff, basically the boards got wiped at the end of the season, and so all the effort that you put in there was just gone, unless you were on a leaderboard that you could take a snapshot and whip it out to show your EP to say I was here.
Oh, okay, for bragging rights, more or less.
But also I can't remember if it's still true with the Diablo 3 seasonal stuff. I know another thing that was different with Diablo 2 is some content was only available during this, on the seasonals until afterwards. So basically, it was kind of early access to stuff. They had different pieces of equipment that only dropped during the seasons, or certain recipes that only worked in the seasonal characters. I don't know for certain whether Diablo 3 kind of follows that tradition or not. I want to say it doesn't. So it's kind of just the the hype train. I'll do it, and there's achievements and stuff like that that you get for the season, and there's also some extra little bonus stuff you can get. There's the vanity pets you can get for doing some of the achievements in the seasonal. Like this week, it's this kind of teddy bear that is all bloody and basically it looks like his
Oh, I
hands
saw that online.
have been like gnawed down where they're just the
And
bone
I'm like,
fingers.
I wouldn't even want that pet. It's just like running after me. It's like a bloody teddy bear. I'm like, ew, I don't want a bloody teddy bear. But that's me. I did see that though, and a lot of people on Twitter at least were excited about it.
So would you compare, like, is Diablo 3 as big as Diablo 2 was? Because I know Diablo 2 had like a cult following forever.
I don't think it was. I think, maybe some of the hardcore people like it better than Diablo 2. For me, I like them both differently. Like it was, it's also, part of it is the fact of Diablo 2 was like 20 years ago. So I was in a different place in my life. I had so much more free time, and it was, surprisingly, it was much more of a time sink than Diablo 3 even is. Because I had spent so much time on it, and I still never even got a level 100 character. Because with that one, they didn't have Paragon levels; they just had a huge exponential experience requirement to get to go up the next level once you hit 80. But then also with Diablo 2, if you wanted to try out different builds, you essentially had to make another character and level it up, because your builds in that were the number of there was some degree to the equipment you could get, which that you could trade between characters, but the majority of your build was based upon the points that you distributed across your skills, and you couldn't refund those by for most of the time in Diablo 2. I know there was a mod that you could do, but you could get that you could do it. I don't remember if they ever put anything into the official. I want to say they've eventually did, like years and years down the road, to be able to reset those. But pretty much it's like, oh, instead of going with an ice mage, I want to go with the fire mage. I need to create a brand new character, and I need to level it up, and I need to put it through through the campaign, because with that one you couldn't go on the harder difficulty unless you actually went through the campaign. Where Diablo 3, I think, has made a lot of the fixes in that regard, where the way that they have it, you just unlock the skills, and you basically you run your loadout kind of like if you ever played Guild Wars, where you have your skill in your left and right button, and then you have buttons 1 through 6, and that's your skills that you take out in the field with you. You can only have 8 skills
Right.
or equipped at once, and it's nice because if you want to change your build because you got a different piece of equipment that works with with a different build, you just change it. You don't have to level up anything differently. Your character stays persistent. So I really like that.
I know. I think we actually have a Crossrealm Rebellion clan. I know, because like a year ago we were all like, let's do a Diablo night. I wouldn't be opposed to a Diablo 3 night. I didn't buy the latest expansion though that has that witch doctor though. I don't have that.
The necromancer.
Or the necromancer. Yeah, that's it. I don't even think I have the witch doctor. So.
No, the witch doctor came with the core set.
Yeah. Oh, did it? So I do have a witch doctor. I don't have the necromancer. Oh, okay, that's it. Because I think I always do the demon hunter thingy, anyways.
That's the one class that I have not played to max level.
I think that's how I've only ever done.
I just haven't really liked the demon hunter. I tried it a few different times, and that playstyle, just was boring to me. So. Oh,
see, yeah, it works for me. But I wouldn't be opposed if we wanted to get a group together and do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, actually, the demon
we should set up one.
Yeah, because I've never got to do it successfully. I would actually think it'd be cool to do like a Diablo night, that we could all get together. And I know, Blue, we were talking about in Discord doing like freebie World of Warcraft lobby, like probably like twink out at level 20 because that's the free level. Might as well. I think that'd be fun, kind of, to do too as a group. So.
Actually, one other thing to mention with Diablo 3, a neat feature that they put in, I want to say it was maybe 2 seasons ago. They have what they call challenge rifts, and essentially what it is just so they have the greater rifts, which is kind of running through a randomized dungeon in a certain amount of time with randomized creatures in it, and so each week they I guess they log every greater rift that goes through. And so each week they choose a randomized person's run.
Oh,
and they snapshot that person's gear set and their skill loadout, and then they snapshot the exact rift that they ran through and how much time it took. And so your challenge for the week is to try to beat their time with exactly what they had and what they had to run. Because with the leaderboards, it's people that are chasing at the top. Sometimes it's just a matter of you get lucky and you get that great rift that you have the unit density where you have the right type of creatures that are together and the right pylons and all that you get. And it makes it so much easier. So for this, it's like, no, it's not randomized. You have this. It's just how well you play the build. And so this week it's a really unoptimized demon hunter. There's like no set pieces in there. He's still got like 3 pieces of rare gear, and it was driving me crazy because, like I said, I don't like the demon hunter, but I did spend probably about 2 hours, I guess, attempting it over and over until I finally did beat it. By like 3 seconds. I got like 6 minutes and 42 seconds versus his
That's
6 minutes and 45. So it gives you some some of the items that you use to to advance your character. So it's one of those, it's a neat little thing just to have the challenge rifts just to see.
Well,
Give you something
cool.
to do so you don't get bored.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think that'd be cool to. I mean, if you really are a diehard Diablo person and you're looking for that next challenge, I can see why they do stuff like that. And I remember reporting on that too because I've done I'm a freaking I've done a lot of Blizzard podcasts, so I do remember reporting on at least that sector because they would spotlight a new player and how they did stuff. And I'm not that person to be like, I gotta beat that person, I gotta do it. I'm like, okay, Sarah. But I can see where it would present a challenge to people who value challenges.
Well, for me, it's not a matter of I want to try to beat that person. It's I want the reward.
Right, yeah, you want the other. There are people that get really focused on wanting to see if they can replicate what that person did. And I could see that. But you also got your VR.
Yes,
thing
I finally took the plunge. Decided to go the VR route. My one buddy, he's had an Oculus Rift for pretty much since they came out. And so I had tried it at his place a couple years back, and it seemed cool. But it was one of those things too that's like, oh, it's it's a few $100s, to buy. So I was like, do I really need this? Is it just another gimmick and all that? And, so I had been holding off for a long time. And what finally I think, made me decide to do it was when I started playing Subnautica maybe about a month ago at this point. And then remembering that he was telling me that he was playing Subnautica in his VR and it was so cool. And I'm like, this game is pretty cool here. Subnautica's fun, and I can see that this game would just be pretty awesome in VR. So I was looking and I was asking, which one should I get? Should I get the Oculus Rift? Should I get the the Vive from HTC, which really pairs up with Steam? And he told me, he's like, I love my Rift, but honestly, if I had to do it again at this point with everything out, he said he would have went with the Vive. So I'm like, you know what? It's a little more expensive, but I think I might do it. And then it fit the budget, so I ordered it, and it came in on Wednesday. I didn't get much chance to mess with it on Wednesday. I didn't even get I wasn't even able to get it hooked up. Yesterday I was working on hooking it up before our podcast, and so I didn't get to play with it then either. I finally got it hooked up after the podcast, but I didn't get to play it. Because it was too late, and I didn't want to get into something and stay up, way super late like I always do anyway. But it also came with Fallout 4 VR, so I started that downloading. So now
that'd be neat in VR.
Yeah, that's what I figured too.
Terrifying.
I was like, ooh, this is going to be a cool
Terrifying
VR.
is right.
So I still haven't played it because even tonight I was, by the time I finally was able to get on my computer, because I kind of sometimes have to share it with the family. When my daughter has her friend over, they like to play games together. So they usually have the laptop and one of the desktops together. So sometimes it takes a while before I can I just want to kick them off right away. So I didn't want to get into it yet, but I'm probably gonna put the set on after here and play one of the two games. I'm not sure which one yet, whether it's going to be Subnautica or Fallout. I I'm somewhat familiar with Fallout because I had played Fallout 4 when it came out, but I didn't beat it. So, so that one might be it'll probably be easier than if I had just started off with Fallout without it. Whereas with Subnautica, like I said, I'm partway through, I might just start a new map with Subnautica, just to start at the beginning and do the whole thing in VR. That's probably what I'll end up doing with it. But as I play around with it more, I'll be talking about that during the Cross Realm cast here, as well as what any other games that I pick up. I've been trying to look up lists of what are some of the great games to play, and I'm trying to I'm hooking them up on my Steam wish list and trying to decide which ones to buy, because a lot of them are $10-15, which isn't huge, but I don't want to keep dropping that on games I don't like. And I know there's a few lists that I saw that had some real cheap or some free ones that I'll probably start off and check some of those out. One of them I saw, I forget what it's called, but it's something like Chair in a Room.
Chair in a Room?
It's something like Chair in a Room.
That sounds like a Luminen game right there.
From the description I read, it sounds like you're essentially, your experience is you're sitting in a chair in a dark room, and you're you're like hearing things going on. And
is that the one with the flashlight?
That would be weird.
And it sounds like it's kind of like
an
just
ASMR
one of those kind of horror type.
VR.
You can't really. I don't think you can really do anything about what you're hearing or imagining or seeing. So, and I think it's a free one. So I just need to find it again. So something like that, just to try it out.
Yeah, I know you have the Vive, which I congratulate you. I clap for you, sir. Good job. I know that I have that, and Yogi has that. Yogi might also have the PlayStation VR, but I'm not sure.
I'm convinced Yogi has everything. That's what I'm convinced. He has everything, but no time to play any of it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, a big suggestion on the games is definitely go over to the VR channel in Discord and ask, because if I haven't poked around with it, I'm guarantee he has. The games are kind of like it's like flipping a coin. Either it's going to be a pretty great game, or it's going to be absolute garbage. There's no in between. Not like it's okay. That's not like a thing in VR games. Like I downloaded most of the ones I have are free. There are a lot of free ones. There's a service you can subscribe to. It's called Vive. Gosh, what is that called? Viveport, I think. It's a monthly service. It's kind of like Netflix or GameFly. You subscribe to it, and you get 5 games a month you can download and play unlimited.
Okay, yeah, I did get a 2-month Viveport with my purchase as well, so I just haven't played with it yet.
Yeah, I signed up for that. I ended up not really using it. And just a suggestion, after the podcast tonight, fire that puppy up and get in. I guarantee you won't stay in for probably more than an hour or so. It's physically exhausting, depending on which game you're playing specifically, especially if you have the full room setup running versus just the seated version. You would be amazed. Like, you will sweat. I guarantee it. It is a workout. Even if
Which
you're not really...
game is that?
Any of the games that are
in VR?
for like the room setup where you're actually moving around. It is.
Yes, I do have it set up currently for just the sitting setup. I do have, I think, the room in my room here that I could do the full room, but I figure I'll get to that later. I also I got the audio adapter part too. I dropped the extra $100 for that, mainly because the reviews I was looking at, people were saying that even if the audio wasn't added in there, the extra support that it adds, because the default, it just comes with that one, the flexible bungee cordy strap, and they said that it would put a lot of stress on their kind of face from just the weight of the mask, whereas it's kind of a harder molded plastic, and it has a crank on the back where you can actually tighten the stuff up. And all the reviews I was reading were saying that it's worth it just to make the experience on your head feel better, and take some of that weight off. So I don't know if you have that set up either, but
I do
when
not.
I put it on, it definitely felt pretty nice for that.
Have you tried it with just the standard? I'm not even sure what you're talking about, but I have had no problems with it.
I haven't tried it without it. I just put it on there right when I got it because I dropped the money.
The biggest problem I have with mine is the glasses. I wear my glasses inside of it, which seldom causes issues while you're playing, but when you go to take it off, either the glasses fall off or you've got like these indents in your head where the glasses are pushed into you. That bit of an issue, but I can throw contacts in if I really want to. It is a great system. Raw Data is a game I really do suggest. It's and really set up the full room. I mean, it's so much better than when you're seated.
One of those.
Man, take your pick. One of them sitting words. But
Well,
full
I'm
room.
waiting until I can get one of those floating chairs like JP
Oh
and
my
Grandma's.
gosh.
Oh,
That would be funny.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I mean, the full room experience, especially in the game like Raw Data, whereas one of the characters you're playing is working with swords, you're up and you're just another big thing. Check your ceiling height. I've jumped. I don't know how many times about put my hand through the ceiling.
Right.
It's one of those things. You put your hand straight up. You're standing there. Oh, I've got about 3 inches of clearance. I'm good.
Right.
Well, when you get into these games, and I've heard Prometheus say this, that world becomes the world you're in. I couldn't tell you how many times.
I would lose my mind. I don't think I'm cut out for VR.
Yeah,
well, no, I mean,
even just sitting in the in the hub and like you can sit there and you can kind of mess with some of the stuff you have in the you're sitting there in that room and you have your window and you can mess with it, and I put like Gotham City and you just look out there and you see Gotham City sitting out there.
Wow.
It's like, so insane. As well as they have different little I don't know what they're called, environments I think they're called, where
change
you can go into them, and one of them is the Great Owl's room from Secret of Nim, and you go in there and you have that 3D immersive VR experience, and
it is
the
really
Great
cool.
Owl's looking right there in your face, and you can warp around and you're getting behind Mrs. Frisbee in front of her, and it's really amazing. I'm just the little bit I played with it, it's just crazy.
Yep. But I could not tell you how many times, and it doesn't matter how cartoony the game is. You could you got these giant like tube TV computer guys floating around with faces on them, and they're the characters. And you go to lean on the desk that's sitting in front of you, and it's you fall because there's nothing there.
Oh my goodness!
I couldn't tell you.
I've done like the cheap person because that's more up my alley. I've done like the generic, like the black and white box of Frosted Flakes. Back in the day, I've done that version of VR where you get like the basic VR thing for your face, and you slide your phone into it, and you can go to like the Google Play Store and download like free VR games, and you can do like roller coasters. Or I was in a dinosaur park game where you could like walk up and see, so that's more my style.
You're talking about the Google Cardboard?
Yeah, it's kind of similar, but it's just like a plastic. Like a headset that you could just slide your cell phone in. It's very generic.
They've improved it.
But it works.
They've improved that with the new Pixel phones. You can get the Daydream headsets.
Uh-huh.
So I have a Pixel 2 and I got the Daydream, and I was pretty impressed compared to the old Google Cardboard for a phone VR. It was pretty neat. Well,
that's cool. So you've had experience in VR on your own, all on your own, right? With your Pixel 2?
Yeah,
tell Falloon he just got a Pixel 2.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't afford those big like the
Hell
Vive.
No,
as much as I want to, I don't think I get a acceptance from the wife on that one.
I hear you, and I am the wife.
But the Daydream, the Daydream, I was able to convince her to get me that for my Christmas gifts, and it's for what it is. It's pretty neat. There's a game called Eclipse on Daydream, which it actually gave me vertigo. It was so intense. So there's some pretty good stuff that can run on the Pixel with Daydream.
So, Lumen, have you looked at Island 359 yet? Because that was one that I was seeing when I went out to Viveport, and it looks like it's a survival game with dinos. I'm wondering, how much it kind of matches maybe to Ark.
So, it's not necessarily something that you just walk around and look. You could actually do stuff in these games.
Oh, the controllers are amazing. Once you get a feel for them, you can pick stuff up. You swing the sword, you actually feel the blade whistling through the air. It is incredible. Yeah, so
I'm looking at this game, and it seems like it could be interesting. And so here's the description for Island 359. It's an early access virtual reality action survival game for the HTC Vive. Players will use the guns, melee weapons, upgrades, explosives, and other tools found on the island to survive for as long as they can against hordes of dinosaurs as they explore the increasingly dangerous island. You're a mercenary, and the money's no good if you're dead. So if you're going to get back to the chopper for an extraction, if you want bragging rights and a fat bank account. It goes a little more, but then features it talks about is virtual reality shooter, unique sprint mechanic for player movement, expansive level, realistic weapons, loot drops, throwable melee weapons and explosives, upgradable weapons and character stats, intelligent dinos, incredible jungle presence, chopper rides, and climbable ladders. So yeah, it sounds like a lot, like could be kind of similar to Ark. Like their newest patch they put out, they added the Triceratops, the Stegosaur, and the legendary T-Rex.
It's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
But hey, it's last call. Time to close down the show. Share how our listeners can get a hold of you. If you have any YouTube channels or your Twitter accounts or whatever, you can put that in the show notes. We want to give it out any shout outs to anyone. So I will get us started. Shout outs to Provoke, who we figured out I thought may or may not be a dad right now, but he's not. What did you say, Cyber? They're not due till Tuesday?
He said his wife's due on Tuesday, but I checked with him tonight before the show started, and he said no baby yet. So
okay, so congratulations ahead of time, Provoke. By the time you listen to this, you might be a dad, and you can join us in the things we do and play at CrossRealmRebellion.com. We play a lot of different games. We podcast together, and we have a Discord where we poke each other all day long with gifts, and we talk
check
about
it
stuff
over 80 times a day just to see if anybody's said anything.
We share what we're eating and what we're listening to and what we're playing and what we're watching and what we're reading. And if you have technological issues, we even talk to each other about that. So,
And the number of times we check each other is, of course, it is synced through UTC.
Yeah. Don't even.
Man.
Here we go. So, and I also included where you can download the Anchor app in iTunes or in your Google Play Store. You just make an account. It'll act like you're a podcaster, but you don't have to. But you can actually leave us voice messages for the show on that, and we can add them into the show, so that's cool. And I have a Would You Rather for the group.
Are you calling Chuck Norris a liar?
Would you rather?
Oh, it's a humdinger.
Oh, wow.
Would you rather?
Holy what? Oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so weird.
No, let's not go there.
Why did I ask this?
Oh my goodness, no.
Would you rather?
Would you rather have to announce to everyone around you whenever you have to fart, or would you rather pee your pants daily?
Wait, you mean I don't have to announce to everybody right now?
No, Luminant. So what's your choice? Would you rather have to announce every time you have to fart all the time, 24/7, or just you just know randomly you're gonna piss yourself and you're just gonna do it? So what's your choice?
I would totally announce. Like, do you have to
You have to announce
broadcast it like you were screaming this to?
fart!
Oh gosh.
Clear the
Yeah,
room, people.
I'd still go with that. I think.
You think you'd want to yell out?
Just never
tell
could
me
eat
what
any
you'd say.
beans
Tell me
or-
what you'd say.
Incoming.
That
I
would
don't know.
work. That would
Yeah, I
work.
think they get the idea after a few
Right.
times.
How about you, Big Blue? What's your choice?
Well, this one's kind of easy for me because I already announced when I'm ripping ass, so I want to be polite. I don't want you to smell it if you don't want to.
24/7 though. Like if you're in the store, you have to announce that. Like, do you do that already?
Oh, I'll be loudspeaker in that crap shit.
Oh, see, no shame in your fart game. That's for sure. Well, there you go. How about you, Cricket? What's your choice?
Well, considering that I work around a bunch of military people all day, that won't be an issue. I would probably something like shots fired or shots over, because we used to do that back when I was in the Marines. We did that anyway. It would always be
Oh gosh.
shots fired and or rounds out,
And you're just cut loose.
So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
All right. How about you, Cyber?
it's duck season.
Duck season. Is that a Canadian terminology that I'm unaware of, or a guy term?
Well,
Them damn
I
ducks.
think it's also kind of a reference to the Caddyshack. Did somebody sit on a duck?
Somebody said, so what? So, in Esme term, are you yay on the farting announcing or no?
Yay on the farting, because
yay on the
ducks farting. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
duck season.
You have to
Okay.
remember, Esme, we're guys.
I was
Farting
gonna
is a part of our nature.
yeah. See, I chose this would you rather very poorly then, didn't I? How about you, Goon? What's your choice? Goon.
says
He
he
thinks, I
froze
think
up.
he froze up.
Oh, that's too bad.
He's
too afraid to give an
rather pee his
answer.
pants. I'm going to answer for him.
We all know that Goon is never too afraid. Oh, it looks like it dropped him. He should be back.
No, I'm sure he just jumped out.
I'm thinking I would almost rather announce every time I have to fart too, just because I wouldn't want to just randomly piss myself. Just because I could be like out and about. I could do it like nonchalantly, like, you know, woo, you know, or something. I don't know.
Happy dance.
I mean,
I don't know.
in all honesty, and if you pee yourself, it's hard to hide because it stinks
I think it would
anyway.
be hard to hide if you piss yourself.
I guess that brings a question would it be better or worse to piss yourself as a guy or a girl?
I think it would almost be the same. It might be easier
because
for us to explain it away.
I would think
be like, I've had 12 children. I just pissed myself.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
See, I'm not going to try and sound sexist, so it's going to sound sexist. But
That's
I mean,
okay.
women sneeze and pee themselves. So
I don't though. I think it depends on how. I don't know.
okay, and let me just say this:
I've
if
heard
my
horror
wife,
stories.
if I was married and me and the wife had 12 kids, I could probably use that same excuse. 12 kids? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, 12 kids. I would just be randomly farting and pissing myself.
Exactly.
I think you would lose like all control of your nether regions at that point.
I'd just have like a nervous twitch, just sitting there.
Oh, you would have a nervous twitch.
Any loud sounds, and I start screaming, "You go to your room!"
How about you, Goon? Welcome back, Goon. So what's your choice? Would you rather have to announce every time you farted or just randomly piss yourself throughout the day?
Well, normally I'm just a crop duster, so...
You're a crop duster, but you have to announce your crop duster.
Yeah, now I have to announce. I'd take the announcement.
Would you? You wouldn't wear no depends? It just soak it up?
No, I would, announce it, stand behind a fan, and let it go.
Oh, goodness.
that's what's up.
That's factory
You'd
life.
be like, Santa Claus has arrived, and like stand in front of a fan and just deliver it to everyone in your department.
Oh,
We just have to
definitely.
make sure to announce to everybody, be nice and quiet. You have an announcement
I think, yeah, that's what we all look at then.
You know the beauty of it. Even if you whisper, that's still considered an announcement, right?
Oh, there goes the mod. See, that's what
You
it was.
and
The
the mods.
volume it was.
That's true. So, those are my shout outs and my last calls. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we wrap it up?
to make. Well, we seem to have failed at the hour,
Well,
or
we
even
didn't
the
get
hour and a
started
half.
until later because we didn't know if he was recording with us.
But I
So-
think we still got much less than the 3 to 4 hours that we've been known for with some of our
Yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah, I think we're doing a lot better with that. But hey, this is a new RSS feed, so a lot of our listeners, they don't know any of our backstory. So
Oh,
But
So
they
this
will
is
find
all-
us.
this is all not applicable right here, right? All this stuff right here. Where this is our first time on this new thing right here.
Well, for
Gonna
now,
have to
but
blow up
won't they be
Twitter.
going on to Podbean and pulling off our is the old stuff still
No.
on Podbean?
Nope. RSS is an I would have to upload it 2 different places for it to hit a Rated Arc. I'd have to upload it on the Rated Arc Podbean for it to hit there. Or I made us a new one that I announced earlier today in Discord. That this is where this is going. So
Was that the
So-
thing where it showed 16 Uber bots going through?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyways, does anybody have any last calls outside of Cricket?
I've installed the free version of Diablo, so if anybody wants to hit me up on the Blizzard launcher, you can add CyberJudge as friend.
Battle.net.
Yeah, on
That's cool.
Battle.net. Yep. So
Do you have any
CyberJudge,
numbers?
I'm on there.
Typically, we have numbers after it.
let me see.
I'm-
CyberJudge #1220.
I am Esmeralda Sky, #sign 1108, I think. Well, you have to tell us who you are and how you heard from us, or else we will not accept you. That is
How do
for
you even
sure.
find somebody through here? Like
You're
I'm looking
new at
around.
this.
I'm-
We're gonna have to get back. We're gonna have to do this right after we cut the show. We're just gonna drop
Right.
it, and we will get you hooked up. Because
I am such an
you are
Xbox
coming
player.
Back. I know you. He's totally. We have kidnapped him into the PC gaming world, as well as the sidecar on the Crossroom Cast.
Unofficial wingman. All right.
Absolutely, and then we also kidnapped Goon and Luminate. So
Yep.
thank you guys for joining us tonight. And just to reiterate, you can subscribe to the RSS feed at it is anchor.fm/Crossrealm Podcast. You can follow the show at Crossrealm Pod on Twitter, and you can email us at crossrealmpodcast gmail.com. And you can join us in all this crap that we've been talking about and all the good stuff we've been talking about at crossrealmrebellion.com. So I think this is a wrap. We will see you later. All right, bye.